The razor-sharp crack of a rifle, but slamming into the barracks door echoed like a gunshot at 0400 hours, jolting Alex Rivera from a nightmare he couldn't shake. Blood trickled from his split lip, courtesy of the shadowed figure who vanished into the pre-dawn chill, but Alex didn't cry out. He swallowed the copper tang and locked eyes with the recruit across the aisle, whose smirk said it all. This was just the opening salvo in a war no one had declared. In the heart of Fort Benning's brutal boot camp, where Georgia's humid summers forged soldiers from boys, Alex knew survival meant turning their hate into his hidden fuel, a fire that would one day consume the entire platoon. By lights out that first week, the whispers had metastasized into open taunts. "Rivera, you prance like you're auditioning for some Broadway fag show," Sergeant Hale bellowed during PT, his voice a gravelly whip that cracked across the formation. Alex, all 5'10" of lean wiry muscle from years of running marathons to outpace his own demons back in Seattle, kept his gaze fixed on the muddy obstacle course ahead. He was 22, fresh out of community college with a psych degree gathering dust, enlisting not for glory but to prove to his absent dad, a decorated vet who'd disowned him at 17, that blood didn't always run thicker than bigotry. The platoon, a motley crew of farm boys from Iowa, tech bros from Silicon Valley dropouts, and city kids chasing escape, smelled weakness like sharks scenting chum. And Alex? He reeked of it. Or so they thought. After that slip-up in the showers, a stolen glance at Jamie's tattooed back, the one that read Semper Fi in faded ink. Jamie Callahan was the platoon's unofficial enforcer, a broad-shouldered Irish-American from Boston with fists like hams and a laugh that boomed over the drill field. 24, on his second tour after Iraq, he'd washed back to basic for a demotion after punching an officer in a bar brawl. To the others, he was the rock. To Alex, he was the storm. That first night, after the punch, Jamie cornered him by the latrines. "Heard you like looking where you shouldn't, Rivera. Keep your eyes front, or next time it's not just your pretty face." Alex nodded, heart hammering, but inside, a spark ignited. Not fear, but fury laced with something sharper, an unwelcome pull toward the very man who embodied his torment. He pushed it down, deep, where it joined the ghosts of high school lockers and family dinners turned interrogations. Dawn runs blurred into a relentless grind. 20-mile hikes with 60-pound rucks that chafed skin raw, low crawls through razor wire that left forearms shredded, and endless cadences chanted until voices cracked. Alex thrived in the chaos, his mind a steel trap sharpened by late-night study sessions under his bunk's dim red light. While others slumped over MREs, griping about aching shins, he pored over field manuals, memorizing ballistics trajectories and squad tactics like scripture. It wasn't showboating, it was armor. But the bullying? It evolved, sly as a sniper. Notes slipped into his footlocker. "Go back to your rainbow parade." During mess hall lines, shoulders accidentally slammed into his, spilling trays of slop that drew snickers from the table. And Jamie, always Jamie, led the charge with that disarming grin, like he was doing Alex a favor by toughening him up. One muggy afternoon, after a qual shoot where Alex nailed expert marksman on his first try, grouping tighter than the range coach's coffee mug, the tension simmered to a boil. The platoon gathered in the sweat lodge of a briefing tent, awaiting scores. Sergeant Hale, a wiry black vet from Detroit with eyes that missed nothing, pinned the roster to the board. "Platoon, eyes up. Rivera takes top slot. 98%. Rest of you sorry sacks average 72. Silence. Then a low whistle from the back. Jamie's face twisted. Not pride, but something uglier, like Alex's precision had personally insulted his lineage. That night, as thunder rumbled over the Chattahoochee River, they came for him in earnest. 5 shadows in the dark, Jamie at the helm, dragging Alex from his rack and out to the firebreak trail. "Think you're better than us, queer boy? Prove it without your little cheat sheets." The beating was methodical. Kicks to the ribs that stole breath, punches to the gut that folded him like wet cardboard. Alex curled fetal on the pine needle floor, tasting pine sap and defeat, but his mind raced ahead, calculating angles, escape routes, the exact moment to strike back not with violence, but victory. "Why?" he gasped when they paused, Jamie's boot hovering. The big man knelt, breath hot with cheap tobacco. Because guys like you break units. We fight for each other, not distractions. Alex met his eyes, saw the flicker, not just hate, but fear, the kind that mirrored his own from a childhood of hiding Crisco Kid comics under the mattress. You don't know me, Callahan, but you will. Word spread like kudzu by morning formation. Bruises bloomed purple on Alex's torso, but he stood tall, rifle at port arms, as if the night was a dream. Sergeant Hale pulled him aside post-reveal. Rivera, I see the marks. Names. Alex shook his head. Just the job, Sarge. Makes us stronger. Hale's gaze softened, a rare crack in the facade. Strength ain't silence, son. But I get it. My brother. He was like you. Lost him to don't ask days. The admission hung heavy, a bridge Alex hadn't expected. From then on, Hale's drills sharpened, but his eyes lingered, a silent ally in the foxhole. Weeks blurred into a fever dream of push-ups till arms quivered like aspic, night marches where blisters burst and reformed, and the constant hum of cicadas mocking their exhaustion. Alex's scores climbed. Navigation sims where he plotted azimuths blindfolded, land NAV courses completed in half the time, even an improvised first aid demo that saved a dummy soldier's virtual life. The platoon noticed, grudging respect seeping in like dawn through blinds. But Jamie? He doubled down, his taunts laced with an edge Alex couldn't place. Jealousy? Or something deeper, a mirror to the confusion churning in Alex's chest every time their bunks aligned in the shuffle. Enter Riley Tate, the platoon's wild card, a lanky trans guy from Portland, 21, with a buzz-cut dyed electric blue at the roots and a wit sharper than bayonets. Enlisting post-transition to reclaim the uniform from a family that saw her old self in every flag, Riley had Alex's back from day one. They smelled different blood on you, she'd whispered during smoke breaks, passing a pilfered cigarette. But honey, yours is blue like mine, rare and unbreakable. Their friendship bloomed in stolen moments, decoding Morse under stars, sharing stories of proms skipped and coming-outs botched. Riley's laugh was a lifeline, pulling Alex from the abyss, but it drew fire too. Dyke and Ferry, sitting in a foxhole, the chorus jeered. The real fracture came mid-cycle, during family day prep. Letters flooded in, moms with cookies, dads with gruff pride. But Alex's stack was thin, just a postcard from his sister in Seattle. Proud of you, bro, dad's thawing. Love, Miah. He tucked it away, but Jamie saw, snatching it mid-stride. Ah, Sissy loves her fairy brother. How touching. The tear was reflexive, paper ripping like trust. Alex lunged, fist connecting with Jamie's jaw in a blur of adrenaline. The first time he'd swung back. Chaos erupted. Shouts, shoves, MP's sirens wailing distant. Sergeant Hale waded in, hauling them apart. Confined to quarters, both of you. Sort your shit. In the dim brig-like room, sweat and silence thickened the air. Jamie paced, a caged bear, while Alex sat statue-still on the bunk. Why'd you hit me? Jamie finally growled. Alex's laugh was bitter. You tore the one good thing I had. What's your excuse for the rest? Jamie stopped, fists unclenching. I saw my cousin in you. Came out last year. Family cut him off. Thought if I broke you early, you'd quit before it broke you. The confession landed like a dud grenade, deflating, not exploding. Alex's walls cracked. It already did. But I'm still here. For me. Maybe for guys like your cousin. Jamie sank beside him, shoulders slumping. Shit. I'm sorry, Rivera. Alex. The name, soft on his tongue, shifted the axis. From that raw pivot, threads unraveled and rewove. Jamie's apologies came quiet. Extra MREs slipped under bunks, covering during firewatch shifts. The platoon, sensing the thaw, followed, taunts fading to tentative nods. Riley dubbed it the gay miracle, but Alex felt the undercurrent, a pull toward Jamie that scared him more than any drill. Stolen glances during formations, brushes of knuckles in the chow line, electric, unspoken. Was it gratitude? Or the bloom of something forbidden in uniform's gray? High stakes loomed as cycle's end approached. The final crucible, a 72-hour op sim in the Pine Barrens, testing every skill under mock fire and feigned fog. Alex led his fire team, Jamie at point man, Riley on comms. Tensions simmered, old habits died hard, with stray slurs from the rear guard. But unity gelled, forged in shared sweat. Then the twist, a wounded Riley leg shattered by sim round, forcing a medevac under enemy pursuit. Alex's call, hoist her via improvised harness, nailed it, but not before Jamie took a hit, shielding the litter. In the debrief tent, scores dropped like bombshells. Platoon average 85, but Alex's leadership metrics? 99. Top of the chain, outranking even the cadre's projections. Elation crashed into confrontation. The CO, a stern Latina colonel with ribbons like medals of honor, pinned Alex's name highest. Cheers erupted, begrudging from some, genuine from Riley. But Jamie hung back, eyes stormy. That night, by the river's edge, away from prying eyes, he cornered Alex again. Not with fists, but words. You did it. Proved us all wrong. Alex shrugged, river mud caking his boots. Wasn't about proving, just surviving. Jamie stepped closer, the space between them charged like a live wire. I get it now. The looks. It's not just hate I saw in you. It's me too. The admission trembled, Jamie's hand ghosting Alex's arm, tentative, testing. Alex froze, heart a war drum. Jamie. But the bigger man pulled back, fear flashing. Can't. Not here. Not yet. The cycle's climax wasn't the scores, it was the court of public reckoning. Rumors swirled. About the brig night, the river talk, fueling a fresh wave of whispers. One holdout, a burly Texan named Brody, confronted Jamie in the mess. You gone soft on the queer? Traitor. Fists flew, Brody's nose crunching under Jamie's haymaker. MPs swarmed again, but this time, the platoon rallied. Not for sides, but silence. Sergeant Hale testified. Men sort their own. This unit's solid. Charges dropped, but fractures lingered. As graduation dawned, brass gleaming under George's sun, Alex stood taller, dog tags cool against his chest. Family Day brought Miah, her hug fierce, and, shockingly, his dad, grizzled and gruff, extending a hand. Heard you topped the class. Proud, son. The word son cracked something ancient. Riley beamed, her own folks absent, but her grin defiant. Jamie lingered at the fringes, uniform pressed, eyes locking with Alex's across the field, a promise unspoken. But boot camp's end was no fairy tale fate. En route to AIT, a letter arrived. Anonymous, typed. We know about you too. Quit while you can. Panic spiked. Blackmail? Sabotage? Alex showed Jamie during a layover in Atlanta, the airport's fluorescent hum mocking their tension. It's Brody, Jamie growled. Or someone scared. They vowed silence, but the seed of doubt rooted deep, twisting their fragile trust. Advanced individual training in Fort Sill, Oklahoma, brought new hell. Artillery drills where misfires meant mock casualties and endless briefs on forward observers. Alex and Jamie, assigned to the same battery, navigated the minefield of proximity, bunked states apart but shifts overlapping, forcing proximity that bred both comfort and chaos. Riley transferred in too, her comms expertise a godsend, forming a triad against the isolation. Nights in the dayroom, they'd huddle over cards, Riley dealing acerbic commentary. Y'all are like a bad rom-com. Just kiss and get it over with. Laughter masked the ache, but the threat loomed, letters multiplying, details too personal, like Alex's sister's address. The breaking point hit during a live-fire exercise, dust devils swirling over red earth ranges. A round cooked off early, shrapnel peppering the berm. Riley caught the worst, gash across her thigh spraying crimson. Alex's training kicked in, tourniquet tied in seconds, hello called with coordinates precise. But as medics swarmed, the anonymous voice crackled over unsecured radio. Ferry's fault. Distracted by his boyfriend. The platoon froze, eyes darting. Jamie's face went volcanic. He stormed the OP, tackling Brody mid-broadcast. You son of a, it's you. Turns out, Brody's pranks stemmed from his own buried shame. A brother lost to conversion therapy, projected onto Alex like shrapnel. The inquiry cleared them, but scars etched deeper. Colonel Vasquez, overhearing the radio feed, pulled Alex aside. Son, this life's a pressure cooker. Loving it. That's the real battle. Her nod to Hale hinted at networks unseen, LGBTQ vets watching corners. With Brody shipped to reclass, the battery tightened, prejudices peeling like old paint. Yet the letters persisted, escalating. Photos of Alex and Jamie's moments, grainy but damning. Paranoia gnawed, trust eroding like sandbagged revetments. One stormy night in the BOQ, Jamie cracked. "We can't do this, Alex. It's poison." The rejection stung worse than any boot. Alex's retort sharp. "Or it's worth it. Fight for us, like you fight for country." Jamie's silence stretched, then shattered. He pulled Alex close, lips brushing in a desperate, rain-lashed kiss under the eave. Not passion's fire, but survival's spark, tender, terrified, transformative. Word got out, as it does in tight quarters. Reactions fractured, some averted eyes, others clapped Jamie's back with "didn't see that coming, man." Riley, bandaged but unbroken, officiated an impromptu coming-out barbecue, grilling MRE steaks while toasting to queer cannons. But the real test brewed stateside, leave approved for Christmas. Alex flew to Seattle, Jamie to Boston, worlds colliding via video calls that crackled with longing. Alex's homecoming was a minefield, Dad's awkward beers by the fire, Mia's fierce advocacy bridging gaps. "He's trying, Alex. For you." Jamie's was stormier, family dinner exploding when he outed their friendship. Uncle slurs met with Jamie's chair-scraping stand. "Love's not a weakness. It's my strength." The call that night, both bruised but buoyant, sealed it. "We're in this, Alex. All the way." Back at SIL, deployment orders dropped. Afghanistan, forward operating base in Helmand. The letters stopped, Cinder spooked by the battery's unity, but new fears rose. IEDs, Taliban snipers, the don't ask ghost haunting even post-repeal policy. On the sea, 1:30 to Bagram. Alex gripped Jamie's hand under a poncho liner, Riley across the aisle flashing thumbs up. To the fags, dykes, and allies who Outranked hate. FOB Shark was a dust-choked hell. Patrols through poppy fields laced with pressure plates, nights lit by mortar glow. Alex's skills shone, spotting ambush signatures from drone feeds, calling fire that saved convoys. Jamie, ever the brute force, cleared rooms with controlled fury, but his eyes sought Alex's after every op, a silent still here. Riley manned the TOC, her voice steady over nets. Inbound Tango, bearing 270. Light 'em up. The ambush hit on patrol day 47. RPG screaming from a wadi, flipping the lead Humvee. Dust bloomed, screams cut short. Alex's team pinned, Jamie dragging wounded to cover, Riley vectoring sass. In the frenzy, a shooter rose. Brody's ghost? No, Taliban fighter, AK chattering. Jamie lunged, taking rounds to the vest, but one grazed his neck, blood arcing. Alex fired true, dropping the threat, then patched him amid the roar. "Stay with me, you idiot." Jamie grinned through gore. "Told you. Distractions." Evacs spun them to Bastion. Jamie stabilized, Alex refusing to leave his side. In the ward's hum, confessions flowed. Jamie's buried bisexuality, sparked by a barracks fling in Iraq. Alex's fear of losing the man who'd become his North Star. "Love you," Jamie murmured, hand laced in Alex's. "Outranked my whole world." Riley, stitched and snarling, wheeled in. "About time, lovebirds." Platoons taking bets on wedding dates. Recovery brought reckonings. Stateside, at Walter Reed, inquiries probed the letters. Traced to a jealous ex in Brody's circle, charges pending. Dad visited, eyes wet. "Fought wars for freedoms I almost denied you. Forgive." Alex did, hugs healing old wounds. The platoon, redeployed sans them, sent care packages, rainbow dog tags etched Outranked. Discharge loomed, Jamie medboarded, Alex opting out to support. Civilian life beckoned, Seattle for Alex, a security gig, Boston for Jamie, but plans shifted. They chose DC, neutral ground, near the memorials that whispered never again. Riley crashed their apartment warming. Blue hair, now regulation short, toasting. To the recruits who schooled us all. Years folded like accordions. Engagements under cherry blossoms, a quiet wedding with Hale officiating, vows echoing boot camp cadences. Kids came, adopted twins, fierce and fabulous. The platoon reunion, a decade on, brimmed with beers and bear hugs. Brody absent, but forgiven in absentia. Alex, now a counselor for vet LGBTQ groups, pinned his story, not for fame, but to arm the next generation against shadows. In the end, the bullies hadn't broken him, they'd built him. And in Jamie's arms, under stars unmarred by mortar fire, Alex knew love wasn't the distraction. It was the deadliest weapon of all. The gravel crunched under combat boots like brittle bones as Alex Rivera stared down the length of the firing line at Fort Sill's artillery range, the Oklahoma wind whipping red dust into his eyes. It had been 3 months since boot camp's crucible, but the ghosts of Fort Benning lingered. Jamie's gray scar, a fresh pink line on his neck, a reminder that survival was a team sport, even when the enemy wore no uniform. Today, with the battery prepped for a high-angle fire mission, Alex adjusted his aim, fingers steady on the FO tablet. Little did he know, the real shot coming was the one that would expose fractures deeper than any shell crater. Advanced training had sanded their edges raw. Endless iterations of call-for-fire protocols, where a misplaced grid square meant simulated squad wipes and gas chamber runs that left lungs screaming for mercy. Alex thrived, his psych background decoding stress patterns in the team like a human FM 3-09 decoder ring. Jamie, demoted but determined, channeled his brawler energy into loader duties, slamming rounds with precision born of penance. "You're a machine, Rivera," he'd grunt post-drill, clapping Alex's shoulder. A touch lingering half a beat too long, electric in its ambiguity. Riley Tate, their trans compass, kept the triad grounded, her quips slicing tension. "If y'all don't fess up soon, I'll radio command for a sensitivity seminar." But Harmony was fragile as a 155mm fuse. The anonymous letters resumed on week 4, a crisp envelope in Alex's mail call, postmarked DC. "Callahan's playing hero, but we see the pansy routine. One word to his CO, and you're both recycled." Alex burned it in the shitter, ashes swirling down like discarded doubts, but sleep evaded him. Who? A disgruntled DI from Benning? Or closer, like the battery's XO, a stiff-necked captain from Alabama whose side eyes during briefings screamed Southern discomfort. Jamie noticed the shadows under Alex's eyes, cornering him in the motor pool. "Talk, Alex. We're past secrets." The use of his name, intimate amid oil drums, cracked the dam. Alex handed over the fragments. Jamie's jaw set like poured concrete. "We'll hunt this bastard. Together." Their pact deepened the pull between them. Late-night strategy sessions in the dayroom, maps of suspects scribbled on napkins, Riley vetting alibis with hacker-sharp logic. "Captain Hargrove's got that Bible thumper vibe," she'd muse, scrolling anonymized forums on her burner phone. "But check the timestamps. Sender's East Coast. Proximity bred proximity." Jamie's bunk became Alex's unofficial crash pad during alerts, bodies inches apart in the dark, breaths sinking like suppressed heartbeats. One midnight, after a letter detailed their brig kiss, lips locked like its pride parade, tension snapped. Jamie's hand found Alex's under the wool blanket, thumb tracing knuckles. "This. Us. It's real, right? Not just war adrenaline." Alex turned, faces close enough to share oxygen. "Real as your scar. Scarier, too. No kiss. Not yet." The line uncrossed, but the bridge built. The battery's rhythm pulsed on. Dawn PT where push-ups blurred into infinity. Afternoons dialing in trajectories till earplugs rang. Evenings choked with briefings on ROE amendments. Alex's scores soared again. Top of the observer quals, his corrections shaving minutes off response times. Whispers shifted from derision to deference. Rivera's got ice in his veins. Even Hargrove grunted approval, but his gaze lingered, probing. Jamie's protectiveness flared, shadowing Alex on ranges, deflecting stray comments with glares that could curdle milk. Riley called it. "You're his knight now, Alex. Careful he doesn't joust the wrong windmill." The escalation hit like a counter-battery salvo. During a night live fire, stars pricking the velvet sky, a dud round, sabotaged, later ruled, ricocheted wild, grazing Riley's arm and embedding shrapnel in the gun chief's calf. Chaos, stretchers, floodlights, the acrid bite of cordite. Alex coordinated evac, voice rocked steady over the net, but as the hello thumped away, another letter waited in his gear. Next time, it's not a graze. Keep Callahan leashed. Fury boiled. Jamie smashed a sandbag, knuckles splitting. Enough. We go loud. They confronted Hargrove at 0200, pounding on his hooch door. The captain, bleary and skivvies, denied with oily smoothness. Conspiracy theories? Focus on the mission, gentlemen. But his eyes darted. To a locked drawer, Alex noted. Riley, patched and pissed, Dove Digital, borrowed a sat phone. Traced the postmarks to Quantico, MP school dropout. Name's Ellis. XDI from your binning cycle. The piece is slotted. Ellis, a weasel-faced sergeant who'd overseen Alex's initiation beating, now stateside, nursing grudges via mail. Armed with proof. IP logs from Riley's sleuthing, they chained command. Hargrove squirmed, revealing he'd fielded tips from Ellis, dismissing them as unit cohesion issues. Colonel Vasquez, looped in from afar, descended like a storm front. Investigation launched. Ellis hauled for questioning. Harassment in my command? Unacceptable, she thundered, her presence a balm. Vindication tasted like battery coffee, bitter but hot. The letters ceased. Hargrove reassigned to desk duty. The battery exhaled, cohesion coiling tighter. With threats neutralized, the unspoken ignited. On a rare off day, the triad hiked the Wichita Mountains, granite tors looming like ancient sentinels. Atop a peak, wind keening, Jamie pulled Alex aside. No more hiding. His kiss was sun-warmed, tentative then sure. Salt and stubble, the world narrowing to heartbeat sync. Riley hooped from below. Finally, my queer dar was about to short-circuit. Laughter cascaded, sealing the triad's bond. But peace was prelude. Deployment whispers grew to roars. OEF extension, Helmand Province. Alex's gut twisted, not fear of Talibs, but of losing this fragile normalcy. Jamie echoed it over chow. We'll come back. Promise. Riley, ever the optimist, inked tattoos. Matching compass roses, true north, etched beneath. Graduation from AIT was a blur. Pins awarded, toasts raised. But the C-17 to Bagram loomed, a steel bird carrying them to fire. FOB Shark welcomed with heat mirage and diesel fumes. Mud huts blurring into wadi walls. First patrols were textbook. House searches yielding AK caches, locals bartering chai for goodwill. Alex called fires that neutered ambushes, Jamie's team clearing with surgical strikes. Nights in the hooch, they'd debrief. Jamie's head on Alex's lap, Riley sketching cartoons of Hargrove as a weasel. Love bloomed quiet. Notes in ammo crates, thinking of your eyes mid-boom. But war's weight pressed. A convoy hit losing 3, ghosts haunting the TOC. The op that changed trajectories was Zulu Tango. Intel on a HVT in a Calic compound, full assault. Alex's FO team inserted via Blackhawk, rotors thumping like war drums. Insertion flawless, but exfil went kinetic, RPGs blooming orange, small arms stitching the LZ. Jamie's squad pinned, Riley's drone feed crackling. Tango heavy, 50 meters north. Alex adjusted, 105 howitzer whispering death, but a runner flanked, AK spitting. Jamie shoved Alex down, round furrowing his thigh. Blood-soaked fatigues. Alex dragged him to cover, morphine haze descending. Not leaving you, he growled, radioing. Casualty evac, priority alpha. The bird came, blades a whirlwind, lifting them to safety. Bastion CSH was a fluorescent limbo. Surgeons probing, monitors beeping. Jamie woke to Alex's vigil, Riley dozing in chair. Told you distractions, Jamie rasped, grinning. Alex's tears fell unashamed. You're my focus. Always. The wound sidelined Jamie, medevac to States, but Alex stayed, finishing tour with Riley. Letters home bridged. Miss your laugh. Come back whole. Reunion at Andrews was airport banalcy made magic. Jamie on crutches, Alex tackling him into embrace. Civilian transition loomed. VA claims, job hunts, but love anchored. They settled in Alexandria, Virginia, row house with creaky stairs, Riley frequenting with tales from her stateside post. Jamie's PT mirrored his mending heart. Alex's counseling cert bloomed into a practice for queer vets. Yet echoes persisted. A Benning reunion invite, platitude heavy. They went, stealing spines. The platoon encircled. Hale graying but grinning. Toasts to the ones who outscored us all. Brody appeared, sober-eyed. Oh, you apologies. My brother's story. It's mine now. Handshakes healed. Beers flowed. In quiet nights, Alex traced Jamie's scars. We outranked them all. Jamie pulled him close. And each other? Nah. Equals. Under DC stars, their story wasn't end. Just the next cadence, marching on. Sunrise gilded the Potomac's ripples as Alex Rivera jogged the Mount Vernon Trail, the Virginia chill nipping at his heels like an old drill sergeant. 6 months stateside, and the civilian cadence still jarred. No formations, no foxholes, just therapy sessions unpacking PTSD shrapnel and job interviews where combat vet opened doors but gay slammed some shut. Jamie Callahan, his anchor and agitator, waited at home with coffee black as boot polish. Their row house a sanctuary stitched from VA loans and thrift store finds. But this morning, a manila envelope on the stoop whispered trouble, its return address blank as a redacted after-action report. Inside, no threat, just opportunity. A congressional fellowship for LGBTQ vets, DC-based, championing repeal legacies. Alex's pulse quickened. It was the Psych Degrees resurrection, a chance to lobby for the invisibles still hiding in uniform. He showed Jamie over breakfast, the big man's eyes lighting like flare signals. Do it. You're the voice they need. Riley Tate, crashing on their couch post-shift from her Hill internship, snatched the letter. Hell yes. I'll be your trans sidekick. Equal parts brains and badassery. Laughter bubbled, but undercurrent tugged. Jamie's limp from the thigh wound, a reminder that war's left uneven tracks. The application warpath began. Essays bleeding vulnerability, boot camp bruises, riverbank revelations, Hellman's heat forging love from lead. Interviews loomed, panels of suits and stars, probing resilience, with eyes that weighed his wedding band like contraband. Alex prepped with Jamie's gruff pep talks. Own the room like you own that range. Riley drilled him on policy. Hit him with stats. 20% of vets queer, 0% safe till now. The triad's rhythm revived, late nights in the kitchen plotting like patrol routes, pizza boxes as sand tables. Acceptance hit like a perfect qual score. Fellow, Office of Veteran Affairs Liaison. Elation crested, but ripples spread. News leaked to Benning alumni nets. Old platoon mates texting proud, man, alongside crickets from holdouts. Then, the call, Sergeant Hale, voice gravel over static. Rivera, got a favor. My nephew's enlisting, same shadows you faced. Mentor him. Alex agreed, heart swelling, payback's quiet form. DC's grind swallowed him. Hill briefings where senators nodded sagely at suicide rates. VA clinics echoing with stories mirroring his. Trans recruits discharged pre-transition by vets gaslit into silence. Alex testified, voice steady. Prejudice isn't policy, it's payload. Applause thundered, but hallways hid daggers. Whispers from conservative aides, agenda-pushing fairy. Jamie, now a private contractor guarding embassies, countered with homefront steel. Dinners of seared steak and stories, his hand steady on Alex's knee under the table. Riley's orbit tightened. Her internship bloomed to full-time at a queer advocacy nonprofit, the three forming a velvet mafia against the machine. But cracks spidered. Jamie's nightmares, waking slick with sweat, muttering covering fire. Alex soothed with touches and truths, but distance gnawed. Jamie's gigs pulling him to fleeting contracts in Qatar, absences stretching weeks. One red-eye return, jet-lagged and irritable, sparked the first real rift. You're always at those meetings, Jamie grumbled, unpacking duffel. Alex bristled, building what we fought for. You get that. Silence stretched, accusation unspoken, priorities pulling like riptides. The storm broke over Thanksgiving, Miah and Alex's dad descending from Seattle, Jamie's clan from Boston. The row house brimmed, turkey aromas clashing with Irish soda bread, laughter masking undercurrents. Dad, softer post-rehab for his own vet demons, cornered Jamie by the sink. Heard you saved his bacon over there. Good man. Jamie's nod was tight. Later, to Alex. Your old man's thawing faster than mine. But Jamie's uncle, a ruddy-faced cop, cornered Alex with beer breath. Heard about your work. Stirring pots won't win wars. The slight landed. Alex's retort sharp. Already did. Ask your nephew. Tensions simmered. Plates cleared and clipped quiet. Post-feast fallout. Jamie's family departed early. Uncle's parting shot a grumbled, "Don't recruit my kin." Jamie retreated to the garage, wrenching on his truck till knuckles bled. Alex found him there, oil-smeared and seething. "It's not just him, it's me. Feeling like the straight-washing sidekick in your revolution." Alex knelt, hands framing Jamie's face. "You're my everything. The fight's ours." The kiss was fierce, makeup raw, bodies colliding on the workbench. Not lust, but lifeline, reaffirming in the clang of dropped tools. Winter thawed to capital cherry blossoms. Alex's fellowship peaking with a bill co-spawn. The Fair Service Act, mandating anti-bias training. Hearings crackled. Testimonies from Riley's cohorts. A trans Marine's tearful account. But opposition mobilized. A firebrand rep from Texas, echoing Hargrove's ghost, grilling. "Isn't this special pleading for lifestyles unfit for service?" Alex's rebuttal, calm as a defused IED. "Fit? We outscore, outfight, outlast. Question is, are you fit to lead?" The chamber hushed. The bill passed markup. A victory tasting of vindication. Yet personal tempests brewed. Jamie's contract extended. 6 months in Djibouti, counter-piracy patrols. "Can't say no," he said, packing. Alex's protest died unspoken. Duty's call was siren song. Goodbyes at Dulles were airport agony. Hugs lingering. Riley crashing the send-off with "Don't you dare ghost us." Letters bridged. Jamie scrawled on graph paper. Alex's typed from hearings. But static crept. Misunderstandings blooming in delays. Mid-deployment, crisis crested. A Benning suicide. A young gay recruit pushed over by barracks hazing. News hit like frag. Hale's nephew. Alex's world tilted. Guilt gnawed. Had his voice reached far enough? He channeled it into a viral op-ed. Outranked no more. Detailing boot camp's underbelly. Backlash roared. Trolls swarming socials. Death threats pinging inboxes. But support surged. Platoon alums amplifying. Riley's org mobilizing petitions. Jamie's response. Crackling over sat phone. "Read it. Proud as hell. But damn, Alex, be careful. World still got snipers." The call ended with "Love you," but doubt lingered. Was advocacy armor or Achilles' heel? Riley pulled all night of vigils, her own scars surfacing, family estrangement post-transition. "We're the tip of the spear," she'd say, toasting with cheap wine. "Bleeds, but cuts deep." Jamie's return was monsoon relief. Tanned, leaner, eyes hungry. Reunion at Reagan National dissolved barriers. Cab ride home a tangle of whispers and wandering hands. But reintegration jarred. Jamie's restlessness, pacing like a caged wolf. Missed the action. Here feels small. Alex countered with plans. Our actions building. House hunt. Kids. Jamie's paws stretched, a fault line. The quake hit over dinner. Riley absent at a gala. A job offer for Alex. Lead counselor at a national LGBTQ vet center, San Diego-based. "It's huge," Alex breathed. Jamie's fork stilled. "And us? You chase coasts. I chase contracts." Words escalated. Accusations of selfishness, fears of drifting. "I enlisted for you. To prove worth," Jamie roared. "Now you're leaving me behind?" Alex's tears. "Building for us, for the family we'll have." Door slams echoed. Jamie stormed out. Truck roaring into night. Dawn brought reckoning. Jamie at the kitchen table, eyes red-rimmed, a ring box open, simple gold, etched with compass roses. "Didn't mean it. Marry me? Wherever, whenever." Alex's yes was sob-laced, the proposal a pivot. San Diego it was, Jamie tagging as consultant. Riley, summoned, officiated a backyard vow renewal. I-do's under string lights, toasts to outlasting ordinance. Blossoms faded to summer swelter, the move west a whirlwind. U-Haul crammed with memories, Dad's truck trailing. San Diego's salt air welcomed. Beach runs replacing trails, the center's halls humming with heels. Jamie adapted, his security firm remote, coaching Little League on weekends. Riley visited, blue hair sun-bleached, plotting national chapters. But Ark's circle, a call from Vasquez, retirement bash. Your stories, Rivera? The reunion, DC bound, stirred sediments. Old Platoon encircled fires, tales tall as pines. Brody, reformed and partnered, raised glass. To the gay who graded us. Laughter healed, Hale's hug paternal. Homeward, Alex reflected. Boot camp's bully-born boy to advocate stride. Jamie's hand intertwined. Outranked the odds. In Twilight's embrace, their love, deep, defiant, charted true north eternal. Waves crashed like distant artillery as Alex Rivera stood on Coronado's shore. The Pacific's foam licking his bare feet, San Diego's sun baking salt into his skin. A year into civilian cadence, the vet center's halls echoed with progress. Group sessions unpacking don't ask scars, policy wins stacking like sandbags. But this morning, a text from Riley pierced the peace. Benning blow-up. Hale's nephew. Hazing video leaked. Media storm. Need you. Alex's stomach knotted. The ghost he'd buried stirred, demanding resurrection, while Jamie Callahan, flipping pancakes in their beachside bungalow, shot him a knowing look. Go. Finish what we started. The flight east was a pressure cooker. Turbulence mirroring turmoil. News feeds ablaze with the clip. Grainy self-footage of a recruit. Face blurred but pain raw. Cornered in barracks. Slurs flying like spent brass. Hale's nephew, 19 and fragile, had attempted overdose post-incident. Now, under suicide watch, his silence screamed for advocates. Alex landed in DC's humidity, Riley meeting him curbside, her buzz cut now streaked silver from stress. It's systemic, she fumed, weaving through hill traffic. Repeal was paper tiger, culture lags like a bad azimuth. The war room assembled. Alex's fellowship contacts, Riley's nonprofit lawyers, Vasquez retired but rallying brass. Strategy coalesced, press conference, congressional push for oversight board. Alex prepped testimony, words weighted. I was that kid. Bullied till I broke records to breathe. No more. Jamie's voice call anchored. You've got this. Channel that boot camp fire. But distance chafed. Their bungalow felt hollow sans him. Texts a thin tether. The presser hit like a barrage. Cameras flashing, mics thrusting, Alex at podium with Hale flanking. The sergeant's eyes steel over grief. My blood, their shame, Hale intoned. Alex followed. Scores don't silence hate. We need accountability, training that sticks, not stickers. Questions pelted. Isn't this politicizing military? Alex parried. It's humanizing it. Backlash brewed immediate. Fox segments decrying woke warriors. Anonymous tips to Jamie's firm painting Alex as agitator. Homefront fractured under strain. Jamie's latest contract pulled him to Hawaii. Training rotations, 6 weeks. Timing sucks, he admitted, kissing Alex goodbye at LAX. But you're unstoppable. Solitude amplified doubts. Voicemails from dad. Supportive but probing. Don't burn out, son. And Mia's care packages laced with worry notes. Riley crashed often, their duo devolving to duo plus dyke venting sessions over tacos. Men, can't live with him, can't court-martial without him. The hearings ignited powder kegs, subcommittee rooms stuffy with egos, witnesses parading, reformed bullies turned allies, victims voicing veiled traumas. Alex's slot peaked tension. The Texas rep, face like weathered leather, leaned in. Mr. Rivera, your orientation, did it hinder unit cohesion? Alex met gaze unflinching. It built it. My husband saved my life. My friend called the shots that saved his. Cohesion's love under fire, sir, not labels. Murmurs rippled. The rep backpedaled, bill advancing to floor. But victory's veneer cracked personal. A leaked email chain from Ellis's old network resurfaced boot camp incidents, twisting Alex's scores as diversity quota. Trolls doxed their address, packages arriving. Hate mail scrawled, fag traitor. Jamie, mid-Pacific, raged over FaceTime. I'm booking red-eye. His arrival was cyclone, sweeping Alex into bed, love-making a reclamation. Slow, sacred, reaffirming souls. No one's touching us, he vowed, tracing tattoos. Riley, briefed next morn, quipped. Operation Honeymoon Homicide on threats. The board bill passed narrowly, fanfare muted by midterms roar. Celebrations subdued, triad toast at a dive bar. Hale joining with tales of nephew's slow mend. You gave him words, the sergeant said, clinking bottles. But elation ebbed to exhaustion. Alex collapsed post-party, fever spiking, stress pneumonia, docs diagnosed. Hospital sterility revived boot camp flashbacks. Monitors beeping like incoming, IVs like tourniquets. Jamie vigilant, Riley rotating shifts, Dad flying in. Tough as ever, kid. Recovery reframed. Therapy doubling down, boundaries redrawn. Alex delegated center duties, Jamie scaling back gigs for local work. High school coach, molding mind sans malice. They adopted twins, Luca and Sophia, 4-year-olds with Jamie's freckles and Alex's curiosity, chaos incarnate. Diaper dashes and bedtime stories wove normalcy, but war's whisper persisted. Luca's innocent, why daddy limp, prompting gentle truths, helped friends. Heroes have boo-boos. Riley's arc arced higher, congressional staffer, her bill on trans healthcare gaining traction. Visits brimmed with Annie antics. Beach days building sand forts like bunkers. But a shadow loomed. Jamie's old CO, Hargrove, paroled from desk exile, sniffing for scandals. A courtesy call to Alex's center. Stirring ghosts? Careful. Jamie's hackles rose. He's bluffing. Investigation ensued. Riley's digs uncovering Hargrove's ties to anti-repeal lobbies. Climax crested at the twins' birthday. Piñata swings amid balloons when Hargrove's proxy appeared, a PI tailing their block, camera flashing. Jamie confronted, voice thunder. Back off, or meet my lawyer. Escalation, restraining order, media leak framing it as vet harassment. Hargrove folded, reassigned to Alaska's tundra, poetic justice. Summer swelled to fall, the family rooted deeper. Luca's soccer goals cheered ringside, Sophia's drawings papering walls. Alex's book deal landed. Outranked, a queer vet's cadence, memoir mapping their maze. Writing unearthed layers, Jamie's bisexuality unpacked, a Iraq fling's regret fueling his bending fury. Alex's dad reconciling via letters, missed your light. Reunion circled, 20th Benning Bash, Georgia Pines unchanged. Platoon grizzled, beers bellied, hair silvered, but hugs hearty. Brody, with husband in tow, toasts. To the recruit who schooled us. Hale's nephew, now serving proud, grips Alex's hand. You saved me, sight unseen. Tears flowed free. Pacific sunset sealed chapters. Alex and Jamie on porch swings, twins Abed, Riley Skyping antics. We outlasted, Alex murmured. Jamie's kiss, sunset soft, and outloved. In love's unyielding ranks, they stood eternal sentinels. Pacific gales howled off Point Loma as Alex Rivera clutched the podium at the Vet Center's annual gala, San Diego's harbor lights twinkling like distant flares beyond the ballroom glass. 2 years post-DC dust-up, his book, Outranked, had rocketed to bestseller lists. Interviews on NPR, panels at AWP. But tonight's keynote loomed heaviest, honoring a fallen trans soldier, Riley Tate's protege, lost to hazing's echo in a far-flung post. Jamie Callahan, tucks crisp against his broadening frame, squeezed Alex's hand backstage. You've got the words. Give him hell and hope. The twins, Luca and Sophia, fidgeted in booster seats with Miah, their aunt's stories a whirlwind distraction. Family, forged in fire, now full circle. The speech flowed like a well-oiled cadence. Anecdotes of boot camps breaking, Hellman's binding, policies piecemeal progress. We don't just survive prejudice, we outmaneuver it, Alex concluded, voice cracking on the soldier's name. Applause crashed. Riley, MC Sharp in emerald gown, pulled him into hug. Nailed it. Now, cake for the kiddos. Mingle blurred, congresswomen congratulating, donors pledging, but a face in the crowd snagged. Ellis, the letter writer, paroled and polished, suit ill-fitting as his smile. Heard the book. Inspirational, he drawled, card proffered. Alex's skin crawled. Jamie materialized, arm possessive. Enjoy the night. Elsewhere. Escort firm, Ellis slunk. Aftermath buzzed. Book tour extensions. Invites to West Point ethics seminars. Alex jetted coast to coast. Jamie holding fort with twins. Soccer practices, bedtime battles. Calls crackled with love. Miss your voice, Jamie'd say. Luca hollering background chaos. But fatigue frayed. A Chicago signing mobbed by protesters. Sodomite soldier, signs thrusting. Security hauling them off. Alex's smile steel through shakes. Riley, now Hill Chief of Staff, texted. Deep breaths. We're dismantling that noise. Home fractures simmered subtle. Jamie's coaching gig swelled to assistant AD, hours eclipsing family dinners. Kids need dad time. Alex broached one eve, Sophia's drawing crumpled in pocket. Jamie's sigh heavy. Need purpose too. Can't just play house. Echoes of Hawaii rifts. Alex swallowed retort, opting for outreach. Couples counseling via vet network. Sessions unpacking survivors' spouse syndromes. We're allies, therapist framed, not adversaries. Progress inched. Date nights reclaimed. Paddleboarding with twins. Laughter lapping waves. Riley's orbit pulled planetary. Her engagement to a Marine Jag. Wedding in D.C. You two officiate. Payback for my unofficial. The bash was brass and blossoms. Vows under memorials. Alex's toast weaving their triad tale. From foxholes to forever, he quipped, Jamie's eyes misting. But post-ceremony, a shadow. Hargrove, retired, but lurking at reception, cornering Riley. Advancing agendas? Watch your back. Her report to brass quashed it. Ethics probe, pension trimmed, but venom lingered. Books momentum birthed sequels. Outranked allies. Profiling straight vets like Jamie who shattered stigmas. Co-writing sessions in the bungalow, laptops amid Lego minefields, bonded them. Jamie's chapters raw. Iraq confessions cathartic. Never told you about Ramirez, he admitted. The fling's ghost exorcised. Alex's absolution. Past prologue. You're my plot twist. Twins worlds widened. School plays. Luca as tree in Nutcracker. Sophia narrating with flair. Parent-teacher nights revealed ripples. Whispers about the gay dads. But principals nod. Your boys thrive. Role models. Pride Month amplified. Center parade float. Family marching in rainbow fatigues. Cheers drowning detractors. Yet a call pierced joy. Hail. Voice fractured. Nephews deploying. Fears flaring. Talk to him. Alex did. Zoom across oceans. Own your truth. Scores follow. The kid's gratitude. Uncle said you're legend. Autumn's equinox brought equanimity's test. Jamie's old firm offered exec slot. DC return, six-figure bait. Stability for the kids, he pitched. Alex's heart sank. Center's roots deep. Book tours tethered west. Debates devolved dinners. We built here, Alex urged. Chasing ghosts. Jamie countered. Building bigger. Stalemate stretched. Twins sensing storms. Sophia's clingy hugs. Luca's outbursts. Catalyst crashed. A center client. Young lesbian vet, OD'd post-discharge, hazing scars unhealed. Alex's vigil at graveside, rain lashing, unearthed fury. Not again. Rallying, he launched Outranked outreach, mobile units to bases, peer counseling pods. Funding frenzy, grants chased, donors wooed. Jamie witnessed the fire. That's the man I married. Pivot. He withdrew DC bid, channeling energy local, youth mentorship, queering JROTC sans queer. Holidays healed. Seattle sojourn. Dad's cabin strung lights. Mia's brood blending. Fireside yarns. Jamie's Iraq grit. Alex's Benning breakthrough. Drew tears and toasts. Family's choice. Dad affirmed. Arm around Jamie. Return west renewed. New Year's resolutions scrawled joint. Adventure annual. Pinned with twins crayons. Spring bloomed bold. Riley's baby announcement, surrogate en route. Auntie Alex prepping Uncle Judy's, he teased visit. Her laugh, godparent squad, assemble. But undercurrents churned, anonymous blog dredging boot camp, lies. Ellis's byline. Legal salvo, defamation suit, Riley's lawyers sharks. Discovery unearthed trove, Hargrove's funding, a cabal crumbling under subpoenas. Verdict, settlement fat, apologies public. Summer solstice sealed sovereignty. Family road trip. Yosemite's granite cathedrals mirroring resilience. Trails tested. Luca's whines, Sophia's stumbles. But summits soared. Stars wheeling above tents. Jamie's whisper. This is deployment without dread. Alex's reply. Loves the op. Fall's harvest reaped reflections. Center expanded. Book 2 launched. Reunion redux. Platoon cruise. Caribbean calm. Decks brimmed banter. Brody's yarns body. Hale's toast. To outranking yesterday. Anchor drop. Alex and Jamie slipped away. Moonlit rail. Eternal enlistment. Jamie queried. Alex's vow. Till the last cadence. Waves lulled lullabies. In love's vast ocean, they navigated uncharted, unbreakable. Crimson maples carpeted the Presidio's paths as Alex Rivera paced the Golden Gate span, San Francisco's fog cloaking the bay like a suppressed memory. 5 years post-boot, the Vet Center satellite in Oakland thrummed, outreach pods dotting bases from Pendleton to Lewis. But this keynote at the Presidio's Officers Club nod, addressing cadets on leadership beyond labels. With Jamie Callahan in the front row, silver threading his temples, pride etched in every line. The twins, now 9, fidgeted with Riley's kids in the green room, their cousin Chaos a joyful cacophony. Legacy wasn't laurels, but lives lifted, and tonight, Alex would ignite that spark anew. The hall hummed with brass and youth, cadets crisp, instructors appraising. Alex mounted the stage, mic cool and palm. I entered boot camp as target, emerged as tactician. Hate honed my aim, love loaded the chamber. Stories spilled, Benning's barges, Hellman's heroism, deceased debates. Prejudice plots ambushes, allyship calls counterfire. Q&A crackled, a cadet's query. How do you forgive the bullies? Alex's pause pregnant, didn't. Transform them. Like my husband here, from enforcer to eternal. Laughter rippled, Jamie's wink winking. Post-talk buzz, handshakes, emails exchanged. Riley, congressional power player now, cornered him. That was fire. My bill's up, trans inclusion full spectrum. Testify. Alex nodded, Jamie murmured. Proud. But pace it, twins recital tomorrow. Balance beam walk. Advocacy's allure versus family's anchor. Homeward hall revealed rifts. Luca's bullying at school, your dads are weird. Met with counselor calls, Jamie's temper flaring. Tell M about your dad's medals. Alex mediated, words, not wrath. Sophia's sensitivity shone, drawing rainbow soldiers for class, teacher praising inclusivity. But undercurrents coursed, Jamie's firm expanding, travel temptations, Asia gigs dangling. One consult he tempted. Alex's veto gentle. We've danced this. Stay synced. Riley's orbit orbited closer. Her twins born, boy-girl duo dubbed the Terrors. Family fusion weekends. Barbecues on her DC deck. Policy pillow talk amid playpens. But her calm mid-autumn chilled. Hale's bad. Cancer. Wants you bedside. Flight east urgent. Alex landing in Augusta heat. Hospital sterile as CSH. Hale, gaunt but grinning, gripped his hand. Knew you'd come. Top scorer. Tails tumbled. Nephew's promotion. Unit's unity. You started it, Rivera. Pass the torch. Alex's vigil extended. Jamie flying commercial with kids. Last words. Outranked the Reaper 2. Hale's passing hollowed holidays. Empty chair at Thanksgiving. Toasts teary. But his will surprised. Binning scholarship in Alex's name for queer recruits. Fuel the fight. Executor read. Alex channeled grief to gala. Fundraiser netting 6 figures. Speakers saluting Hale's heirs. Winter's grip loosened to spring's surge. Book 3. Cadence of kin. Weaving family fronts. Riding retreats in Big Sur. Jamie joining for hikes. Cliffs mirroring cliffs scaled. Twins tagged summers. Campouts teaching knots, not narratives of night. Luca's coming curiosity. Was I bullied like you, Dad? Alex's truth. No. But if, we'd outrank it together. Jamie's midlife murmurings. Coaching's calling. College level. Offer from SDSU. Head scout. Alex encouraged. Go. Mentor like Hale. Transition smooth. Jamie's charisma corralling recruits. Inclusivity clause inked. But envy nipped. Alex's tours pulling him podcast ward. Stages calling. We're drifting again. Jamie voiced post-argument. Dishes clattering. Counseling reconvened. Growth, not grudge. Catalyst coalesced. Riley's crisis. Divorce blindsiding. Jag's closet cracking under command. Need sanctuary, she sobbed call. Westward welcome. Guest room claimed. Kids meshing mayhem. Therapy trios. Beach therapies. waves washing wounds. Her rebound, nonprofit pivot, Tate transitions, aiding military families. Summer scorched scandals. Hargrove's deathbed confession leaked. Audio ranting repeal regrets, but slinging slurs. Media maelstrom, Alex op-ed. Even villains evolve. Or don't. Backlash brief, support swelling. Platoon podcast appearances, Brody co-hosting. Fall's foliage framed fortitude. Twins tween trials. Luca's first crush. Boy on boy, nerves knotted. Normal, he quizzed. Jamie's arm, yours. Sophia's activism. School GSA founding, Alex advising. Pride amplified. Float grander, family fronting. Reunion roared. 25th binning blowout. Paris Island proxy. Decks groaned under girth. Beers bellied. Bonds burnished. Vasquez keynote. Rivera lit the fuse. Nightcap toasts. To outranking obsolescence. Pacific dusk draped devotions. Alex and Jamie on deck. Twins ob-ed. Riley's laughter lingering. Legacies them. Alex mused. Jamie's embrace. And us, unoutflanked. In twilight's tinder, love's ledger balanced eternal.